This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran, coming to you from the New Media Production Studio. I want to welcome you to episode 1620 of the Geek News Central podcast for Thursday, September 8th. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. You can support this show at geeknewscentral.com/insider. In the lineup tonight, the FCC has precise broadband data map it's going to release in the near future. Elon Musk and Twitter dialogue is heating up. Facebook engineers have no idea where your user data is stored. And NASA is going to attempt number 3 of the launch of the Artemis platform for late September. Hey, I want to give a warm welcome to all the new listeners of the show. Make sure you get over to geeknewscentral.com. Check out all the great content. Follow or subscribe to the show. You'll find the newsletter a little bit farther down on the website as well to get subscribed to. Definitely do that while you're there. You can always subscribe to the show. That's the best way to follow the podcast. Follow or subscribe right on the website as well. You can join our chat room at geeknews.chat or join our Discord channel. Our Discord channel is available via the link in the show notes. Of course, if you want to reach out to me, you can contact me via email, geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com, or on Twitter at geeknews. You can always follow me on Facebook as well. Partner shows, they're all linked at geeknewscentral.com as well, includes the new media show, the GNC Week in Review with Scott and Kirk, and of course, we've got the Gadget Professor with Mr. Don Bain. Definitely check those shows out again at geeknewscentral.com geeknewscentral.com. Got ahead of myself. Hey, I want to thank our long, and is the longest running continuous sponsor of podcasts, our good friends at GoDaddy. Can you tell it's been a few weeks since I did the show? You can find great deals. Absolutely great deals on GoDaddy promo codes by going to geeknewscentral.com /GoDaddy, and you can save money. You can save a lot of cash by using my promo codes, whether it be a 30% off discount code on new product purchases or $4.99.com for new or transferred domains for new customers only, or $1.99 a month economy hosting for the first year with a free domain. Again, $1.99 a month economy hosting for the first year with a free domain. We also have a $2.99 a month managed WordPress plan for the first year with a free domain as well. The free trial of GoDaddy website builder, your choice of personal business plus plans. That's a 1 month free trial is available. And I do want to say that you all stepped up and answered the call in August. We had a fantastic GoDaddy month for August. One of the biggest ones in about a year. Thank you so much for stepping up and picking up GoDaddy products and services. You all took my advice and started to decide to change and put something in place in case this economy goes south. And all of you that are listening to the show today, you can get online. You can start an online business. You can start your own podcast. You can start your own website. You can start your own e-commerce site, whatever the funnel may be. If you want to reach your tribe, start building your tribe on your website. Do it with a GoDaddy domain name tied to an account, to a promo code for a hosting account. See if I can get that all up there in one breath. But again, that $1.99 a month managed WordPress hosting for the first year, $24. $24 get you going. Again, with a free domain name. Definitely check out all these deals. Again, geeknewscentral.com /GoDaddy. I want to thank GoDaddy for being a longtime sponsor here. And thank you. Thank you for your ongoing support of the podcast. Well, I tell you, it's great to be back. It's been a very, very busy couple of weeks. I mean, I have not been without things to do. As we were wrapping up the show 619, I was essentially heading out the door to fly to Dallas, and And that I did. Attended the podcast movement event out there, which was filled with a little bit of controversy and a whole bunch of other stuff we won't go into. But had a great show in Dallas. Met a lot of content creators. It was fantastic. Next stop was Vegas for some one-on-one training with some groups of people. That was great as well. And then back to Atlanta for Dragon Con. And Dragon Con wrapped up, and I flew home this past Monday. And but Dragon Con again was a great event. Lots of great tracks at the digital media track, which my company was a sponsor of. So it was really an absolutely jam-packed full week. I was so exhausted. Saturday coming back from the event, I got some dinner and I went up to the hotel, and it was about 7:30, and I thought, well, I'll catch an hour and a half of sleep, then I'll get up and do something. I didn't wake up till 9 a.m. Sunday morning. I never sleep that long. And 13 and a half hours, somehow I wrestled out of my clothes somewhere in the middle of the night. I don't know. Don't even remember, to be honest with you. And but anyway, you got back up Sunday morning. I had to be back in there by 10:15. Got back, had to rush around. Got out of the hotel, got back, and then wrapped up about 9:30 Sunday night, and then flew back. I said like Monday. Had some delays on flights, but 6 flights and only 1 delay. I feel pretty lucky to have made that round robin with no issues, no lost luggage or anything. So everything went good, and here we are. And of course, today the sad news. My condolences to our UK family on the passing of Queen Elizabeth. I'm sure this is going to dominate the headlines over the next 7 to 10 days. So she had a long reign, that is for sure. But again, condolences to, and I know that encompasses a lot of locations, but yeah, sad passing of her today. And of course, now the takeover of the or basically King Charles now is king. And so I'm sure we're going to see a whole series of events happen over the next couple of months for sure in regards to all that. So on top of that, a new prime minister and a whole bunch of stuff. So it's been a crazy. It's really all around been pretty crazy. But again, I do want to give a call out though. Switching topics here. Some of you have boosted the show. I know that I've been gone for a couple of weeks. I want to thank you for your patience. I got 50 sats from Bisaya Podcast on talking about the FCC rejecting Starlink, another 50 sats on California keeping its nuclear power. I think those are all the ones that come in. I got 2012 sats from Dave Jones on deep fakes posing a danger to podcast. So I may have read these off on the previous show. I can't remember, but if you don't know what I'm talking about in boosting, you need to download the Fountain app. Start using the Fountain app. Listen to the show on the Fountain app, iOS or Android, and you can earn crypto that you can donate back to the show directly in the Fountain app. So definitely check that out. Link is in the show notes for the Fountain app for sure. Hey, if you're checking out, it's kind of funny. Facebook is already flagged my podcast for music. There's been no music played on the show. How do they really think I'm playing music? It's really, I mean, they're out of control. What's happening here with Facebook? I'm live and they've already flagged the show. How is that possible? Am I singing? I don't think so. If you're watching live on any Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you may be, YouTube, make sure you say hello, check into the show. I'm only watching the Facebook live stream discussion. So definitely say hello over there. Definitely appreciate when you do. So I've got a whole stack of stuff for you tonight. Kirk did a good job on the show prep. It is good to be back here with you. And just as an opener, just so you guys know what has happened, I have I'm going to an event in October that it's a reunion. And I should only miss one show. It's a reunion of a squadron I was in years ago when I was in the Navy. So I'm going to be going to that. And then in mid-October, I'm going to be traveling with my passport in hand. I have been invited to speak on the other side of the world. I'll be talking more about that in the coming weeks. But going to be taking podcasting discussions to a very unique audience and to a part of the world that I did not think I would be revisiting. So I'll give you a hint there in that, and then we'll talk about it more as things are firmed up when I have my firm flight dates. But I am definitely going to miss a couple of shows sometime in the middle of October. For sure. At least I'm 90% sure. But other than that, I'm here all the way through the end of September with you. No travel plans in place. But let's go ahead and get into the stack here. First thing up is the FCC's attained detailed broadband maps from ISPs for the first time ever, and the FCC aims to release the most accurate U.S. broadband map to date in November. This is a big deal. And they've been collecting precise broadband availability from internet service providers for the very, very first time, and aims to release this information again in November. So we're going to be able to see for the first time, really, we hope, in this data, the haves and have-nots of broadband. And they completed the first filing window for submitting data where broadband service is and is not available. And this is a long process of creating accurate U.S. broadband map. And they said, we have collected extensive location-by-location data on precisely where broadband services are available, and now we're ready to get to work and start developing new and improved broadband maps. The resulting map should show whether fixed broadband service is available at each residence or business location. The FCC's inaccurate broadband maps have made it difficult to distribute deployment grants where they needed the most. And current maps are based on what's called the Forms 477 data collection program, which ISPs where they offer service in each census block. But they're doing much more detailed and is part of the Broadband Data Act. So we'll see. We'll see what happens if they've actually able to get this data in front of us where it needs to be. Time will tell. Meanwhile, a judge has denied Elon Musk's attempt to delay the Twitter trial, but he can add whistleblower claim to his lawsuit. So apparently there's been a whistleblower while I've been gone. At the same time, Twitter's lawyers say Elon Musk wanted out of the deal because of World War III, not bots. And they have concerns that the whistleblower complaint bots are just a pretext. So it's all about discovery, sharing of data, lots of people complaining they're not getting what they want. And I am sure that it is just going to be a circus to watch, just like anything else that goes on with legal proceedings. But the most amazing article that I read tonight was about a disclosure of some testimony that was made a few years ago where a senior Facebook engineer says no one at the company knows where your data is kept. Can you believe that? That they have no idea where your data is. Not one person, not one engineer knows where the central location of all the data is. These two meta engineers were grilled in court about where the company stores all its data and users. The engineers didn't know where they could find all a user's data, and they thought no one at the company would know. The transcripts of their comments were revealed in a newly unsealed court document. So this was part of the Cambridge Analytica scandal of 2018, and this transcript was unsealed. But the engineers were questioned in just March of this year. So, excuse me, it wasn't in 18. It was just March of this year. The questioning was led by a court-appointed technical expert who was trying to ascertain exactly what information Facebook stores about users. They have it so compartmentalized, ladies and gentlemen, that these engineers said it would take a large team working extensively to figure out where all the data was located. Doesn't that make you go, Previously, when asked what information it keeps on users, Facebook provided the court with its download your information tool. But this was not found to contain all the information the court wished to inspect. The court appointed this expert who asked who at Facebook would be able to answer the question. And no one there, these two engineers said, we don't know if any single person actually knows this. A spokesperson for Meta told Insider it was unsurprising individual engineers couldn't identify where all data for a single user was stored across the company's system. Wow. At Blueberry, I know where all of our user data is. I know. How can this even be? You would think you would have some document that would lay out where all user data is stored. But no, they don't have it. NASA. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm sorry, NASA. You may have to turn your geek card when it comes to launching big rockets. So NASA is eyeing again for a third attempt to launch in late September for this Artemis 1 launch. The agency is currently working on repairs and scheduling issues ahead of another launch attempt. These hydrogen leaks are kicking their butts. They can't even fuel the spacecraft. Now they're going to test on September 17th for a cryogenic test, which if they can fuel the spacecraft that time, they're going to try to launch again on the 23rd. Now, one of the biggest issues facing the system is something inside the rocket called a flight termination system. If it's a key system, they're dealing with big rockets, and for pretty obvious reason, it needs to be working at the time of launch. The Space Force is in charge of launches with the Eastern Range. It requires that the batteries on the flight termination system be certified as in working order at the time of the launch, something that can only be done at the vehicle assembly building and many hours away from the launch pad. They've already gotten one extension of the system certification, but it's up to the Space Force if they're going to extend again. But they may not be able to. They may have to go back and check the batteries on this stupid thing. Would you not have a monitor to know how much battery charge is left in that system? It's pretty shocking that they would not know this. I'm just blown away. I really, really am. YouTube's going to add quizzes and ad-free video player and education push. They've partnered with a number of universities, and they're going to allow qualified creators offering free and paid courses in 2023. So some content will be able to be streamed for free on YouTube without ads. Google Fi is giving subscribers a boost when traveling abroad. Basically now, if you have Wi-Fi availability, you'll be able to make calls via Wi-Fi. And starting soon, you'll be able to tether your phone while you're traveling internationally, for those of you on Google Fi. Xfinity is rolling out a new multi-gig speed across all U.S. markets. And I'm looking at this list, and I'm like, oh. So they've basically, the fastest, even on my business plan here at this office, I have 20 megs up. 15 to 12 is pretty normal. They're giving all of their customers, it looks like, a minimum of 75 megs uploads, and everyone else between 100 and 200, along with speed increases. But these new upload speeds for doing work at home and video conferencing is well past overdue. So Xfinity making a move here. So if you have Xfinity, cha-cha-cha-ching, you're going to get some higher upload speeds. Lowe's, yes, Lowe's, the I guess, what do you call them? Lumber store? I don't know. They're kind of like a Home Depot, right? Lowe's has teamed with Instacart to bring same-day delivery to customers. Who do you think would win in a delivery race, Lowe's or Amazon? Well, definitely in my town, being there's no Lowe's, Amazon will still win. Lowe's said Thursday that it's teaming up with Instacart to offer customers same-day delivery nationwide of items up to 3 feet by 3 feet by 5 feet and weighing as much as 60 pounds can be delivered to your front door in less than an hour. Deliveries can also be scheduled. Lowe's began testing same delivery with Instacart in February in select markets. Now same day delivery is available in all 50 states and Washington, D.C. So no longer will you have to make a run to the hardware store to pick up that thing you missed. You can now have it delivered. Google is announcing an October 6th event for the Pixel 7, Pixel Watch, and Nest devices. So look forward to that. Those of you that are Pixel users, Pixel phone users, October 6th is the date for the new announcements. Brazil has banned the sales of iPhones without USB power adapters. They're basically, you're selling a phone, but you're not selling a charger. Well, in a statement on Tuesday, Brazil's Ministry of Justice and Public Security said it has fined Apple 12.275 million reais. Brazilian Consumer Agency said Apple's decision not to include power adapters with new iPhone discriminates against consumers by selling an incomplete product. Apple said they will appeal against the ban. The company told Reuters in a statement it will work with Brazilian authorities to resolve their concerns, but added it has previously won several court rulings in Brazil on the issue. He says, they say we are confident that our customers are aware of the various options for charging and connecting their devices, Apple said. The fine and ban on sales of iPhones without USB power adapters was announced a day before the iPhone 14 and 14 Pro and Apple Watch and Ultra Watch announcement. So we know that Apple has not included a charger since 2020. Disney Plus Day has landed. So I guess it's going on right now. I'm not familiar with it. I wasn't paying attention. Disney Plus Day is devoted to celebrating the properties that catapulted the streaming platform to prominence, from evergreen staples like The Mandalorian, Loki, to the new upcoming series and films Thor, Love and Thunder, Pinocchio, and She-Hulk, and more. So also this year's Disney Plus Day also kicks off the start of D23 Expo, a Disney fan event that takes place in Anaheim, which was trending socially. And the D23 Expo runs through tomorrow, September 9th, from September 9th to September 11th. Electrify America wants to make EV chargers as easy to use as gas pumps. And really what they're saying here, they've unveiled a redesign of its charging station to make them more consumer-friendly. The changes to labels that clearly indicate charging levels, a new balanced charging system that delivers the maximum charge possible to each vehicle, and clear payment option. The updates were made following EV driver surveys and are designed to create a more familiar gas station-like experience. One of the biggest issues with charging stations they found is that consumers often don't know the charging speeds of their own EVs. So the current labeling CCS and CHADEMO may not make sense. To that end, Electrify America will keep their CHADEMO for low level up to 50 kilowatt charging, but use new labels above that for ultra fast up to 150 kilowatts and hyper fast for up to 350 kilowatts, not unlike mid-grade and premium grade gasoline. So they're using lightning bolts. 1 is slow, 2 is fast, and 3 is super fast. So you'll be able to tell how fast these things charge. Definitely need a lot of chargers for all these electric cars, but of course, got to have electricity to do it. Rivian and Mercedes are teaming up to build electric vans more quickly. So they want to build a large bevy of electric vans. So they signed a memorandum of understanding to develop a strategic partnership and set up a joint venture manufacturing company. They're hoping to use the shared resources to reduce costs and make electric vans more affordable while ramping up production. And the goal is to produce 2 vans on common assembly lines. One would be based on Mercedes-Benz Van EA architecture. The other would center around Rivian's second-gen Rivian Light van platform. Now, here's a question. I know a lot of people are buying these vans now, especially the Mercedes-Benz vans, and they're built into conversion. They convert them into like off-grid camping systems. What happens when these folks that want to go off-grid with these Mercedes-Benz vehicles and there's no more gas or diesel ones available, and they're all electric, and you're out in the middle of nowhere camping, or you're in some middle of some country? I follow people on YouTube that drive around in these vans all over the place, and there's no way they're catching an electric vehicle charge in some of these countries they're in. So I wonder if that's what's going to happen, or people are going to be buying gas and diesel powered vehicles outside of the United States and then bringing them back when all these bans on gas and diesel fueled vehicles take effect. It's going to change that industry, or people are just going to continue running the old stuff until the wheels fall off. Ford's going to be updating Blue Cruise Drive Assist with hands-free lane changing. So if you've got Blue Cruise and you've got a Ford Mustang, the latest ADS system will get an automatic lane changing with an update. So Blue Cruise, which Ford is positioning as a viable competitor to GM Super Cruise and Tesla's autopilot system, first launched in 2021 with the Ford Mustang Mach-E, and has since rolled out to 75,000 Ford and Lincoln owners. A software update, Blue Cruise 1.2, will arrive this fall, starting with a 2023 Mustang Mach-E before landing with other models. What models? I don't know what models. They haven't listed the models. What vehicles all have Blue Cruise in them besides the Mustang? Ford, you should get more clear on your press release. GM is targeting the masses with a $30,000 all-electric Chevy Equinox SUV. And GM's latest bid to ramp up U.S. EV sales and surpass rival Tesla is going after them big time with this $30,000 all-electric. Now, GM has started with what appears to be a winning combination. Compact SUVs are one of the top-selling categories, and Equinox is priced thousands of dollars below the cheapest offering from competitors from Ford and Tesla. It is more than 50% cheaper than the average new EV cost of $64,000, according to Kelley Blue Book. So they're being pretty aggressive here at a $30,000 price point. The Chevrolet Volt EV, GM's first effort to produce and sell an affordable EV, has been mixed. GM has sold more than 200,000 Volt EV since it launched, but sales of the small hatchback have never managed to eclipse its peak of more than 23,000 set in 2017. And a friend that had a Bolt, he loved it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here if GM is able to make this happen over time. If you don't think there's industrial espionage, Huawei offers satellite SOS in China where Apple is unavailable, and they announced it several days before the iPhone 14 announcement. Actually, a day before Apple unveiled its highly anticipated satellite-powered SOS feature for iPhone, Huawei announced its own equivalent. The Chinese telecom equipment smartphone giant says flagship Mate 50 series will support texting via satellite communication. The feature is made possible by Beidou, China's own navigation alternative to U.S. government-owned global positioning system. So, sending messages via satellite is not a new technology. It's the first time this feature of Beidou has been implemented in consumer-facing smartphones. And, of course, we'll talk about Apple here in a minute. A little more on Elon. Judge slams Musk for withholding text messages, cites glaring omissions. He's chides Musk for wasting time, says there's no time for just kiddings. He says some of the data that's been pulled from one source doesn't match other sources. So he said that Musk's approach to answering interrogatories also left much to be desired after being ordered to respond to, questions. It required defendants to identify persons with knowledge of relevant facts. Must side supplemented the response, but they did a bad job of it. So in other words, it's more monkey business with the court system. Astronauts' blood shows startling DNA mutations after visiting space. This is an article over at BGR.com. And it talks about samples that's been taken. New study has shown that astronaut blood does experience DNA mutations due to spaceflight. The study published in the Communications Biology in August looked at the blood taken from 14 astronauts in NASA's Space Shuttle program. The researchers noted several DNA mutations in blood forming stem cells compared to blood taken previously, which could cause concern down the line. And they did this, I believe, they took blood. Researchers looked at blood taken from astronauts of almost 20 years ago. Those astronauts flew missions between 1998 and 2001. When they compared samples to the current blood spectrum, they started finding mutations in DNA, although they discovered 34 non-synonymous mutations in 17 CH driver genes, whatever that means. They say that the presence of these small clones in the blood requires further inspection and investigation. And they say this finding these mutations in astronaut blood is concerning. They don't know the real cause, though. Was it spaceflight, or could the astronauts have been exposed to something? So they don't have a real good, it's not like they have a hard fast that space is what caused this, which is kind of interesting in itself. I wonder if there's mutations happen to our blood. I wonder if that's been done on non-space-born folks. 2 super Earth planets have been discovered. One could potentially host life. The only challenge is it's 100 light years away. The exoplanets LP890-9b and LP899c were detected 100 light years away, orbiting the star LP899, and it has since been dubbed super Earths for their similarities to our home planet, though somewhat more massive. So once we figure out a way to travel 100 light years in under 100 years, or more like 1,000 or 10,000 years, or we can't even. What's the fastest we can go? We can't even get to half the speed of light, let alone or a quarter of the speed of light, let alone get to the speed of light. So just a little bit of ways away. Engage. And by the way, for those of you that are Star Trek fans, I believe this is an anniversary date for Star Trek. So congratulations for you Trekkies. It's being reported that SharkBot malware is reappearing in the Google Play Store. Yeah, it's again and again. This is a story that seems to be on rinse, wash, and repeat. Queen Elizabeth II's death has sparked Twitter outages in U.S. several countries, according to users. Immediately after the 94-year-old monarch's death, Twitter users reported getting the message, "Tweets aren't loading right now. Try again or cannot retrieve tweets at this time." According to Down Detector, which tracks website outages, thousands of Twitter users reported outages at 1:36 p.m. Eastern, 6 minutes after Buckingham Palace announced the Queen's death. Outages are reported in the U.S., UK, Canada, and Japan. So, probably just an overload. People went crazy and went on Twitter to look at what was going on. Ads, we know this are coming to Netflix soon. Folks are keeping a tab on everything that they know about the new ad-supported tier. And according to this article from Business Insider, advertisers say Netflix is asking for high prices but not offering measurement. They're rolling out ad-supported tier in November. And the streaming giant has been pitching advertisers, again, with aggressive pricing. Netflix is competing for ad dollars with a growing number of competitors, including Disney's forthcoming ad-supported version of Disney Plus, NBC Universal Peacock, Hulu, Amazon, and Warner Brothers Discovery. The new ad-supported tier will not have the full Netflix catalog. It will cost between $7 and $9 per month, and will not include ads that run in kids' programs. Ad Age reported Netflix expecting the ad-supported tier to generate 500,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So, compared to its current 220 million total customers. So, we'll see. We'll see where this leads. Well, are you shopping for solid-state device? It's been a while since we looked at these, but there's a good article over at Engadget talking about the current SSDs. According to Engadget, the best 2.5-inch SATA drive is the Crucial MX500. The MX500, with sequential speeds of 560 megs per second and an $85 price tag for a 1 terabyte model, is pretty well priced. The PCIe, the best is the Samsung 970 Evo Plus. I remember when it was an 850 Evo Plus. It comes in 250, 500 gigs, 1 terabyte, and 2 terabyte varieties, anywhere between $70 to $190. And of course, there's a more affordable Gen 3 NVMe from Crucial. It's called the P2. And again, these are priced in and around $85. And then a SATA option from Western Digital. And this one is coming in at $110. So a lot of flash drives as well. A best portable is a Samsung T7. That price comes in $140 for a 2 terabyte variety. Again, solid state drives. Best thumbstick is the Samsung Fit with 256 megs at $36. So anyway, good link up here of a variety of solid state memory from the folks at Engadget. Definitely take a check it out in the show notes at geeknewscentral.com. Google will soon offer an easy way to share files between your own Android devices. More accessible options are on the way too. And again, they've announced a slew of Android updates. This nearby share thing is Google's version of Apple's AirDrop, which should make transferring files between your own Android devices a cinch. And so anyway, they've got a list of stuff in this article for those of you that are Android users. Amazon CEO says company will slow hiring rate, no hard return to the office planned. So here's a question. Anyone thinking about renting office space? It appears to me there is going to be a lot. The CEO told a code conference in Los Angeles last night, we don't have a plan to require people to come back, but we're going to proceed adaptively as we learn. He also noted at the same conference he didn't think you'll see us hiring at the same rates we did. And of course, we know in July, Amazon paused construction on 6 new office buildings in Bellevue and Nashville, saying it needed to reevaluate the design to suit hybrid work, make them into housing structures, let people live in them. So what do you think about that? What if you think your employer provided you housing in the office space you worked in? That might be interesting. I know somebody say, we'll never get away from the office. Well, if it's your house, you would. Interesting concept. Uber and Lyft ditched their mask requirement in New York. I didn't know they were still doing this. The move follows policy updates from the state's New York City's Taxi and Limousine Commission. That was one thing, that they had mask mandate at Dragon Con, but only about 50% of the people were wearing masks. There was hardly any enforcement going on at all. In some of the rooms, it got real full, people were. But other than that, it was like a 50-50 deal. Uber Eats and Nuro, N-U-R-O, signed a 10-year deal to do robot food delivery in California and Texas. So the Nuro delivery pods are big enough to drive in the streets and deliver your food. I tell you what, I've had horrible late-night Uber Eats delivery experiences. The last time I've ordered food late from Uber Eats, it has been horrendous. It's almost like now I'd just rather get up, take an Uber to wherever I was going to bring food, pick it up myself and come back. It makes more sense. Waiting an hour and a half, 2 hours for pizza, that kind of stuff. It's crazy. Hey, here's a stamp I may actually have to get. It's a USA Forever stamp for the Webb Space Telescope. Again, the U.S. Postal Service celebrates NASA's Webb Telescope with this new stamp. I guess I'm going to have to go get me one. I'm going to have to go over to the post office and grab one. When is it available? Is it available now? I think so. I may have to order it, but yeah, they have released it. So that's pretty cool. Pretty nice stamp. It's very, very sexy. Again, it's a USA Forever stamp. I always love buying Forever stamps because I buy them in bulk, and then I have stamps for 5 years and don't have to worry about the postage going up. I may have to do this on this one here. NASA picks Axiom Space to build the first Artemis moonwalk space suits. So the Artemis 3 mission will take humanity back to the moon if they can get this thing off the ground. And we'll have 2 astronauts conducting up to 4 spacewalks on the surface. NASA's picked the company that will be building the spacesuits. Agency announced Axiom Space will develop the mission's moonwalking systems and has been awarded an order with a value of at least $228.5 million U.S. taxpayer dollars. Apple has picked Globalstar for emergency satellite service on iPhone 14, and they're paying 90% of the next launch to support this. That's huge. Now, if you haven't heard, with the iPhone 14, you're going to be able to do an SOS from the watch or from your iPhone 14 to space. It says dedicating $450 million from its advanced manufacturing fund towards satellite infrastructure to support the feature. Globalstar will receive the majority of the funding, but the iPhone maker did not specify which other players receive the rest in what form. Apple will pay 95% of the approved capital expenditure for the new Globalstar satellites needed to support the service. Globalstar said it would still need to raise additional debt to construct and deploy the satellites. Globalstar makes low Earth satellites, said it tapped investment bank Goldman Sachs, and expects to complete financing in the fourth quarter of 2022. Of course, many of you were wondering what's happened at the Apple event. Well, it's really broke down pretty simply, and I'm not going to go into full details. The iPhone 14 and 14 Pro. And shocking no one here and on what's going on, but they've got it's got a bigger iPhone 14 with a 6.7 inch screen. The design is essentially identical to last year's iPhone 13. The case and the camera got some of the biggest upgrades. Also, we've got an update to the Apple Watch Series 8 and Apple Watch Ultra and Apple Watch SE. The Ultra is for those of you that need to bang your watch around more and basically more water resistant and everything for sports. And I know that I banged my watch around a few times and caused chips and so forth, extended battery life and a whole bunch of other things. So the $799 Apple Watch Ultra is an entirely new beast. It's got a 49 millimeter display and a flat front crystal that is built to protect the screen from side impacts. The digital crown and side button are built into a new protruding area that helps to protect the crown, and there's a new action button on the left side of the watch as well, as you can customize that button to launch any feature. And it will have 36 hours of usage. It can be extended 60 hours using the new battery saver feature and so forth. And, of course, new AirPods Pro. And look identical to the original model, but have a longer battery charge and using a new processor called the H2. So, hey, Toby, thanks for saying welcome back. Definitely appreciate it. And that's going to bring us to the end, ladies and gentlemen, of today's show. Fast and quick, normal podcast, back in the action. And I don't think any emails have come in, but I'm at Geek News Central. geeknews@gmail.com. geeknews@gmail.com. Let me look. Nope, nothing in the inbox. None of you love me. I know I've been out and gone, but back in the swing. And those of you that are insiders, thank you for your ongoing, continued support of the show. It is tremendously heartwarming. I appreciate it. I really do. Those of you that support my sponsor, I'm greatly, greatly appreciated that you have done that and continue to do so. And of course, if you're not an insider yet, geeknewscentral.com/insider. I'm on Twitter at Geek News. Feel free to drop me a line. Let me know what's going on. But I definitely appreciate you all being here. Thanks for being part of the podcast. I'll be back with you on Monday for another edition of the Geek News Central podcast. Y'all take care. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye. Well, that didn't work. Let's try that again for those of you that are watching live.